your favorite upcoming game that probably isn't going to happen. Knights of the Old Republic is looks like it's dead in the water, Jay. It's another victim of what I coined on Twitter the embracing, where the embracer groups fallout continues to impact. Like I knew this was a possibility, but this is looking a little inevitable. So for those who know, the embracer group is basically having a bit of a meltdown. They were expecting they of course are famous for buying Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal from Square Enix for $300 million. They are the ones that decided to permanently destroy Marvel's Avengers. They, they own Volition, who did the very popular Saints Row reboot, and well, before they closed Volition down, and after we heard about all the problems with the Knights of the Republic remake, we heard that the Embracer Group had basically transferred ownership to another one of their studios, which was rumored to be Saber Interactive. And we basically hadn't heard anything about it since. And now, after all these Embracer Group problems because of that $2 billion investment that they lost, they've been canceling projects, closing studios, firing a bunch of people. Crystal Dynamics recently reported firings as a result of the Embracer Group. And now it looks like National Republic is basically cooked. So people first started noticing that just a bunch of old tweets and videos posted officially for Knights of the Republic were being removed online, and people immediately were like, what's happening? why is this happening? And people immediately start speculating that's because they were just basically shutting the project down. Now Sony released a statement saying that they hid the trailer because, quote, as part of normal business, we delist assets with licensed music when the license expires. So basically they're saying the music that they had in Knights of the Republic trailers those licenses expired, and that's why
I'll buy it.
they trailer. That's bullshit for several reasons. First of all, it doesn't address the tweets that they also got rid of, but also if you're making a Knights of the Old Republic game, you have license to not only the Star Wars property that you're adapting, but the music, which is Star Wars music. And we haven't seen any other Knights of the Republic stuff that's online get delisted or removed.
This would highlight a very huge problem that I don't believe exists. If you have to take down trailers because the music in the trailer, like a license expires, no, you were licensed to use it in that trailer. That trailer, once it is posted and exists, it exists forever. You can't just take it away retroactively. That's not a thing.
Yeah, so there was a change to the YouTube system where they basically made it so that you can use copyrighted music by purchasing the license. And so instead of usually in the past, if you posted a video with copyrighted music, you would lose all the ad revenue on that video to the copyright holder. But they made it so that either you would share the revenue, or you could specifically pay to have that license for a set amount of time. It does not cause any problems where the trailer would be removed. So even if the license expired on the music, they wouldn't have to get rid of it. Otherwise, all the Knights of the Republic stuff would have been taken down as well. And again, they're Sony. They're making the game. It's supposed to be an exclusive. If there was a issue with the license, they could just renew it. They wouldn't have to take anything down. They're making the game. They have a Star Wars license. So this, to me, combined with the fact that they removed old tweets, they also were reached out to for comment about exactly what's been going on. If they this is Mike Straw. He's a reporter for Insider Gaming. That's Tom Henderson's. and asking, he asked Embracer and Saber Active what the status of Knights of the Republic Remake is, and they declined to comment. So that combined with all the old tweets and videos getting, probably, it looks like it's inevitable that Embracer is going to come out and say that the Knights of the Old Republic Remake project is getting shelved due to their ongoing financial struggles. And that's going to be the end of that, unfortunately, because it's something I thought would happen. Like, someone was wondering if Embracer might get into the Marvel business, but at this point, I'm like, well, because they're hemorrhaging money and they're trying to, basically, they're even considering just selling studios and stuff, trying to get back on track. There's no way they would take on a licensed game. That's why I already thought Knights of the Republic Remake was probably getting shelved before all this broke, but after now, it's like, I would think they would want to get it out there because it has, high earning potential, but it is a licensed game, which means it's risky, and maybe it's not far along in development as we thought. So it would be more costs, and they're just in the short term trying to not spend a lot of money on stuff. So they're probably prioritizing like original IPs that don't have licensing costs or splits associated with it.
I've heard some things. Before that, let me share. You have to understand, this is my favorite video game of all time. Okay. Yep. And this was my reaction. I don't hear. All right. Lucasfilm Games. Watch my reaction.
This is a J-Shock Blast special.
Peace is alive.
Look how young he looked.
It was 2 years ago.
looks 10 years ago.
Yo, if you tell me, oh my God, is that Darth Revan?
Power. Now they wield it. We face the greatest Sith in generations.
Oh my God, it's Knights of the Old Republic!
We must be stopped.
Look at that. Look at that happy face.
Like, I don't react that way very often. Like, I'm usually pretty composed, but like, I saw that coming. Like, I knew that shape. So like, I freaked out there, man. I was so what I've heard is so I heard they got the license to do the game. They had something like made out to do it, and they gave it to Aspire. They then started looking for funding to fully make the game, and they went to Xbox first. And apparently Xbox and Aspire do not have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And they declined. So then they went to PlayStation, and PlayStation heard Star Wars, and they said yes. So then they started putting everything together, and they brought it to PlayStation, and PlayStation was like, what the fuck is this? So they sent them back to the drawing board, and that's when chaos started at Aspire.
Yeah.
And that led to, I guess, a mutiny. I don't know, something like that. Like, people were moved, people were let go, and then the game shifted allegedly to Saber Interactive. So it's troubled, to say the least.
Yes.
I've like kind of given up the thought of it. I just, look, I understand, like we look at Wonder Woman, right? Wonder Woman got announced the same night, and we've seen just as much of Wonder Woman since then as we have Knights of the Old Republic. But I'm not worried about Wonder Woman because, like, there's nothing.
Their studio isn't burning down around it,
right?
and they've been hiring. So we also got recently the concept art. So we know the project exists. We know is actively hiring people. So it's healthy. We know Warner Brothers, their movie division, another story, but their game division is doing okay. They're not currently having a fire sale, so we're assuming that project is okay. But Knights of the Republic,
you see my huge Jin Sakai back here, right? Like, I have a Revan and a Malik that make that look small, like that's like, I mean, I literally have, I'm not going to grab them because I want to knock stuff over, but like, I literally have 3 Revan Funko Pops, a Malik, and a Basila, like all right here on my desk.
He has way more 19 inches of Revan.
Yeah. Way more than 19 inches of Revan. And, to be fair, for some people, Revan is a girl. So that's another debate for another day.
Well, people enjoy that too. So
well, it's one of those BioWare games where like you create your own character, and a lot of people created themselves as a female. There was debate for a long time what canon was. It has been decided that canon is that Revan is a male and the Jedi Exile is a female. So that's from Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Nerd.
But yeah. Anyway, but like seriously though, like, is it possible that something can like turn around? Sure. I think it's far more likely that Embracer drops it.
This project's cooked, bro.
I think Embracer loses it and hopefully somebody else picks it up. I saw some weird shit today too, though. Like a lot of people are saying that they want Larian to do it, who did Baldur's Gate 3,
right?
And that would be perfect because Knights of the Republic is a turn-based game. Gameplay didn't necessarily age well. A lot of people do not like turn-based Marvel's Midnight Suns. But
this card game is different.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, Larian did a great. Baldur's Gate 3 is really good, and it's really good at what it is. But like, I saw some like Struggler Bry tweeted something earlier about somebody that's like, no, they should basically make an entirely new video game for me because I want this to be an action game. I don't like turn-based, and because it's not for me, it should just be made a different way.
Someone said they should literally take the profits they made and make a DLC where it's real-time combat.
How are you going to tell some company how to like spend the money that they made on the video game that they made exceptionally well? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to knock a game for being what it is. That was their vision. It's not. I do agree that it would be more accessible if it was real-time combat, but they did plenty well just doing the turn-based route. So I don't think they have any regrets in that regard. It's just a matter of preference. Like it worked out for Baldur's Gate, didn't quite work out for Midnight Suns. It is real turn-based combat is still a relatively niche thing. It does have its audience, but if that audience isn't all in on what you're selling, then you are in fact limiting your potential reach, because you're not going to reach the more casual gamers or people who just don't like that style are not going to buy it, and the people who I think like more real-time combat, I think do outnumber the people who prefer those slower turn-based strategic type of games for the most part.